Hello, fair deal. So this is a video tutorial on PropStream and a process to standardize our comps process across the board between all departments to reduce the confusion and the numbers we get to as a team, and to make sure we are kind of all on the same page. So I created a process and as you can see, I'm going to go through this process and make the video kind of at the same time between the document. And then if you have any questions, feel free to Slack me, email, whatever you need. So this is PropStream. Obviously you log in, you put the property address that you're running the comps on. It will automatically kind of get you the property on the map, all the properties in kind of the subdivision, and a picture of the property. That picture is usually being taken from feeding from MLS, or if the property was listed on Zillow. If there are pictures online, PropStream is pretty good about getting those pictures. I will give you the property address, estimate equity, average comps, estimated rent, year built, for comps purposes. We click on details. We can see here all the pictures of the property. If you click here, all the pictures of the property, probably from the previous sale, listed here. You can go through the pictures, take a look at them, but we should have our own pictures anyway. So you can see here that this is pulling from two comparables to get the 251 average sale price, or the average comparables, and days on the market is 52 for this area, based on PropStream. And we'll go down in the in a little bit here to the comparable and nearby listing to see how they're getting this number and what the comps that they're using. As you can see, mortgage, it will recognize immediately if there is mortgage. They're very good when it comes to this. And estimated mortgage balance, 40,000. That is something that would be very interesting to see, or I guess at this point we already purchased this property, to look if that's really what he owed on the property. Public records, last sale was 2015 and 93.5. So it's kind of giving us all the information about the property. You can tag it, you can do a lot of things. I'm not going to touch on this right now, but property details, you can get all the details, and I explained it a little bit more in detailed here in our process about everything, so you can take a look at that. I'm trying to keep that video not too long, so we'll run through that. But here you can take all the property information. It's extremely important when comping the property, especially on acquisitions and lead management, where it's like pre-contract and we're trying to match the information that the seller gives us so we can utilize that information, but take everything with a grain of salt. There can be things that are not accurate, and it's good to maybe double check and check with the seller. But for one thing, that it would be good if the seller is telling us that that he's the only owner on the property, and then we see another person on the property, then that would give us a good indication that maybe we want to ask about that. So we're not going to go on the appointment, just meet someone that not only the not the only signer. Okay, next, comparable. So you see here, he got 17 properties, 17 comparables that he pulled right now. But if you see here, it's only 2, right? So this is kind of what is the back end of PropStream kind of automated to search. I think it was between 1700 to 23, but I saved it on the other comps because I couldn't find, so, or something like that, or it was 1800, but we can see here it pulls only 2 properties. So I guess I missed this one. So we have here the data set. Here we can take information only from public records, all the sales that were not done on MLS, or only MLS, or both. So majority of the time, or almost all the time, I didn't see when it didn't do it. But when you have an MLS sale, it will always show as a public sale, public record sale. But there are off-market sales that you will see on public records, but you won't see on MLS. So it's very important to take both, right? So this one is a public record that there is no MLS. So that was maybe off-market. It's 2,100 square feet. Property for 1.5 hours for 2, and sold for 210. It's a good comp, but we don't have any information or any pictures on that. So what I would recommend to do, just to double check that, is put it into just a Google search, see if you can find any information about the property, just to get a little bit better insight. But I couldn't find a lot of pictures on this one. But the point is that we have a 1.5, 2,100 square feet that sold for 210. So it's a good indication, because all the rest of the comps that you see here are not really close to the property. It will give us by proximity. This is how it's going to give us the comps. So if we look here, this is the only comparable by my research, and you can see that this neighborhood is completely different neighborhood. I'm not going to look at these comps. These are not good comps. So when they're saying 251, it is not true comps for what we're looking for, right? So we don't want to come here and rely on that information because PropStream said. So it's very important that we will kind of go into the comparable search, change the date range. Right now it's on around a year. I leave it for right now like this, but it would be the best, let's say, to do 6 months or 120 days to get the best comps, or the most relative comps to what we're looking for. So already did that research on the property. You really will find that majority of our comps will be on a smaller properties, but these small properties can give us a very good indication of what our property can sell for. As you see here, we have 1,800. We have here properties that are, majority of the properties, you see the same kind of lot square footage. A lot of them are sold in like 60s, and our property, sold, built on the 60s, 50s, and our property 92. So that's a relatively newer but we have 1800, and these are much smaller properties. Just hit MLS only. Just so I'm not going to get these duplications here. And you can see that now I'm getting properties that are a lot closer. By the way, here's a sale that literally happened 2 weeks ago. So this is how long it takes to PropStream to populate sold properties, about 2 weeks. And as we go through the process, you'll see that we kind of need to go back to MLS and check the past 2 weeks. So going back to the research, put the date, put the square footage, the distance, obviously the closest, the best. So just stick with a half a mile. That's the default. Bedrooms, bathrooms, don't touch it in the beginning. Kind of take a look at the sold properties, and then property class. You can choose your industrial, residential, whatever you want. I don't touch it unless you want to narrow the search and you have a lot of results and you're trying to filter through them. And obviously you can add active properties, contingent properties, fail, or pending properties. So we see that we don't have any properties in this status that are active right now over there. For that square foot, let's see if we change something. So in the status is show you here MLS active. I don't know if we had that before. Let's change this real quick. Yeah, we didn't have that. So it finds you by the property address, by the square footage, what you're looking for. Okay, so let's go back to this one. And one really nice thing about PropStream that it's not super accurate, but it knows when it was a flip. Like we have properties here that I think there were flips too, but it doesn't catch it here. But they have a flip comp. So if you go here and you do between 1,000, oh, here you go. So 1 mile, let's see here, a mile radius. Yeah, it didn't find anything. Oh, here you go. So we got 2 properties and they are pretty far from our property. Yeah. I wouldn't use it, but it's a good kind of indication. Also, if you look at that, you can narrow the search to 1.5 and see if you find something between these dates. I'm just gonna go back here and see if, okay, it doesn't have anything, but it's great. I've tested it in areas, other areas. It's working. But the cool thing about this, let me see if I can. Here you go. You got 27. Here you go. One that is very close. Number 1 is this one. I'm not going to look at this one. But number 2, 1,100 square feet. Here's a cool thing. You can take a look at the pictures, like when we do the comps.